Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll show you how to create a highly accurate knowledge base using Voiceflow Tags API. This is a must-watch video if you are creating AI agents or AI chatbots using Voiceflow. You must probably be wondering what are tags and how they help you get accurate information from the knowledge base. Let me explain with an example. Let's imagine your knowledge base is like a big library filled with books, okay? So when someone asks a question, it's like searching through all the books to find the answer. Using tags is like putting special stickers on those certain books. These stickers help the librarian, that is your AI, know exactly which books to look for at first when someone asks a question. This way, the librarian or the AI doesn't have to search through every single book, but can go straight to the ones with the special stickers, making the search much more faster and more accurate. So if you asked a question about yoga, the librarian would only look at books with the yoga sticker on them. This makes finding the right answer much quicker and easier. A knowledge base is the heart and soul of any AI agent or chatbot, and without a well-structured knowledge base, you won't get the right or the best possible answer for your query. Okay, now let's see how to set up tags in Voiceflow. So for this video, we will use Voiceflow and the Voiceflow Tags API, and I'll leave the links to both in the description. So let's get started. All right, this video is going to be a bit long because we have a lot to cover, but I promise you it will be very valuable and worth your time. So close all your tabs, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite drink, and let's get started. Don't forget to add this video to your favorites so you can easily come back to it later for reference. As always, all the links, prompts, and responses will be available for free on the Resource Hub, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Okay, perfect. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create an assistant in Voiceflow, okay? And the reason we need to create an assistant is so that we can attach the knowledge base documents, and those knowledge base document is what we will be tagging. It'll all become very clear once I start doing it. Okay, so the thing is that, so for the knowledge base, what we'll do is we'll actually, you can use any site. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna use a website called Vikasa. They're very beautifully organized. It's a wellness website. Okay, so let's go there. All right. So as you can see out here, they have multiple programs. But for this video, what we'll do is we'll use, like if you go to the Foundation Yoga Training, it has the dates, it has all the information about this particular program, as well as the pricing. So if you go down, and you can see the pricing as well. Okay, so it is very clearly organized. And same thing if you go back and you say, okay, 300-hour advanced, and then it is organized again the same way. You have the dates as well as the details and the pricing. So this is a perfect example if it is actually the knowledge base is like this. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, what I'm going to do is I am going to take the 1, 2, 3, and 4, these 4 pages. Okay, and so let's copy the URLs, and then I'll show you how to actually add them to Voiceflow. So this is the first. So I have all the 4 URLs. Now let's go back to Voiceflow. We'll create an assistant and we will attach this in the knowledge base. All right. So let's go to the assistant and say new assistant, Vikasa knowledge base test. All right. Modality is going to be chat since we are using that, and then go to English and let's say continue. Okay, perfect. So now in the workspace, okay. Once you go back, you can actually see within this assistant, this is our Vikasa KB test, which we just created. You have something called workflow and knowledge base. So the workflow is where we design the AI agent, and the knowledge base is where we upload the documents which we want the AI agent to reference to. Okay. So to add documents, you have multiple sources here. So I'm going to use the URL since we just copied the URL, and copy this, paste it. Let's say, it doesn't matter, let's say monthly to refresh rate. Okay, and let's import. So it's importing right now. All right. So I want to mention that your data source needs to be as clean as possible, and structuring your data correctly is very important for an effective knowledge base. So when you input data into Voiceflow, the best type is text files followed by PDFs and docs, and then only URLs. This is important because when a bot scrapes a web page, it often picks up unnecessary spaces, characters, and irrelevant links. Because of this information bloat, it can get harder for an AI to read the knowledge base correctly and provide accurate answers. Make sure you have a well-structured text file for sensitive data such as pricing or dates, etc. This will greatly improve the quality of your answers. So now you have green marks next to all the URLs. That basically means that it is Voiceflow has actually uploaded those documents. Okay. So now if you click on the white portion next to the URL, you will see how Voiceflow is storing this data. Okay, and it's in chunks, and as you can see, it is a lot of garbage basically, because you have all of these TTTTs. It's not good at all actually. So yeah, the most important part is that, especially when you're creating an AI agent, the AI agent is as good as the data it gets. Okay, so if you give it garbage, it is going to spit out garbage. So we need to make sure that the data is actually valid and it's in a very clean format. So as I explained earlier in the video, when you are uploading data to knowledge base, it needs to be very clean and very precise. Okay, and the way the Voiceflow reads it, the best data is the plain text. If you can actually just get text and put it out there, it is very easy for the AI agent to actually reference that data. Okay, so then of course is the PDF files or the doc files, and then comes URLs. Because the problem with URL is there is a lot of bloating. Okay, so there's information bloating because, as you can see, it is chunked out. So first of all, there's a lot of, probably this is because of the spaces, and this has got a lot of URLs as well, because a page also has URLs and other links as well. So probably it is not the best way to do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will actually create, for these 4 documents, for these 4 URLs, I'll create a clean document. So if you go to Foundation Yoga, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to, right click and copy it and put it in a text so that we can actually use this. So it's the same thing out here as well. Just right click and copy and put it into a text file so it can be used. All right, so I have created these 4 documents now. If you see, this is now the documents look much cleaner. These are doc files. So I copied all of the information from the website and then sort of organized it in a way that the AI can easily read it and reference it. Okay, so I did it for these 4, and it's advisable that if you're doing it for your clients or for yourself as well for your business, it is always advisable that you actually take the data and put in a very clean format so that AI can actually read it and then give right answers rather than total garbage. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to actually delete these 4. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'm going to re-upload it in plain text. So that is, as I said, that was preferable. So let's go back to the documents, and I'm going to open this. Yes, that's opening in the text file. Just copy this and then put it out there. So this is the document. Just say import. All right, great. So now I've uploaded all the 4 documents, as you can see, and if you click on these documents, look at the way it is stored now, as compared to earlier, because it is so clean and it's very well formatted. So it's very easier for the AI agent to actually reference the document and get the right information. Okay. So the next thing is that we need to attach these documents to tags. Now, what you need to understand is what are tags and why are they important. Okay, so a tag is something like it tells the AI that, okay, you need to reference only this particular document for this particular question. So this is what happens. So now when someone asks a question about to the AI agent about the Foundation Yoga, it will reference only this particular document. This is the Foundation Yoga teacher, which has got all the information. So it doesn't get confused and it does not get wrong information. So it is not giving, if somebody asks pricing for the yoga, Foundation Yoga teacher training program, it is not giving you pricing for the advanced. Okay, because they are structured in a certain way. Basically, so if you see, this is the dates for the foundation, and if you go out here, this is a nicely organized site. That's the reason I'm taking this as an example. So if you go to advanced, the same thing out here, it has got the dates. So if somebody is asking for dates for the Foundation Yoga program, you don't want the AI to give dates for the advanced. Okay, so that's where tagging helps. So tagging tells the AI agent that only look at this particular document to answer this question, which is for the Foundation Yoga program. Okay, so let's go ahead and create some tags. All right, so the step 1 in creating tag is, so we'll go to create tags. Basically, we will be using the tags API, which is from Voiceflow. Okay, so I'm going to leave this particular link in the description, so you can easily go to this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a document. We'll need to go and check out document list. All right. So don't worry about this. I'm going to actually guide you through this whole process step by step. There is no coding involved. It is a no code solution. But of course, I mean, so don't get bothered by the code which you see out here. This is just for reference. All right. Okay. So the first thing what you do is we will actually go here and you'll come to the document list. Now, what is this? Document list is that it gets it goes back to the knowledge base, to the AI agent, and says, hey, these are the 4 documents which we have, all right? And these are the 4 documents which need to be tagged. So once I go back to Vicasa, my test, and then we will go to integrations, and you have an API key here, which we need right now. This is the primary key, this is the API keys, and you will just copy this key. Okay, so it's copied. Let's go back to our system. All right, so I'm going to use the key out here, and what is this going to do is it is going to connect this particular API with this knowledge base right here, which is our knowledge base, these 4 documents. Okay, and it will pull these 4 documents, so it knows that this is the AI agent, and I'm going to pull this information. All right, so when I say the document, I've connected the API key, and I'm going to say try it, and there you go. So as you can see, it is right here. It's pulled up all the information. So total is 4 documents, data, and then, so this is not the code basically. Okay, so this is the, as you can see, this is total of 4 documents, and this is the document ID. You can see the name 200. Let me just actually copy this and put it into a, so it's easier to see. All right. Again, don't get bogged down by the code. This is just information, nothing else. I'm just going to expand that so you guys can easily see it. Show forms. All right. Okay, so now if you can see, this is total of 4, and there's a data, and then the data says this is 200-hour foundation yoga training program. So this is the document. This is the document ID which we'll be using, and if you see, there are no tags out here. Okay, so this is, look at this tags column. This is empty, which basically means that there is no tag which is attached to this document, and that's exactly what we'll be creating, so that we can reference the tags when we're actually talking with the AI agent. All right. So, okay, so the same thing out here. This is tag is empty, tag is empty. So this is a different document ID, and this is for 300 advanced, and so on and so forth. All right. So now we have got the document list out. So the next step is that, so now we have got the document list. Now let's create the tags. Okay. So for that, we will close this API, and let's go to the tags API, which is right here, just below that, and open this. So in order to create tags, what we'll do is we will actually go to the create tag, which is right here, create KB tag, okay, which is knowledge base tag. All right, and so it has 0 tags right now. If you can see, try it. And the best part is it automatically copies the key, so you don't have to re-enter it again and again. It has already there. Okay, so now if you go here and you say try it, it has got a 400, which means error, which basically means that there are no tags right now. Okay, so let's create some tags. So in order to create tags, what I'm going to do is I will actually go down and come to data object. Okay, so this is the body params, which is the parameters. So you just create it out here, and you can say something like foundation. So I'm going to say, so what is the name? This is advanced yoga teacher training. Let's start with the first one, foundation yoga teacher training. So YTT. Okay, so I'm going to create and say YTT foundation. This is the tag which I'm using right now. Okay, so this is a string, and that's it. So all I have to do is now say try it, and it's a 200. Perfect. So it's already created the tag. So you can see that this is the tag right now. Again, the tag is not linked to the document. We're just creating the tags. Okay, so there's a tag ID and there's a tag name, and we will later join this tag ID with a document ID, so that it knows exactly what to reference. So similarly, we'll do it for all 4. So I'm just going to call this YTT foundation, so advanced. All right. So then say try it again. 200, and it's created this one as well. So the next one should be YTT yin. Okay. Okay, so this is also created. And then finally, what was the last fourth one? Refresh. Okay. So let's call this refresh. So tag is something which is easier to remember. So just use those names, and then again, let's create this. Perfect. So it's also created. Okay. So now all the 4 tags have been created. Now, if you go back to the tags API and I want to see the list, all right? So KB tag list. Let's go here and see what all tags have been created. So if I go here and say try it now, it should show all the 4 tags. And there you go. So all the 4 tags we just created, this is all is right here. Okay. Okay. So now we already have the tags created. Everything is right here. Okay. So let's copy this and put it into a text document as well. All right. Okay. All right. So now we have all the tag IDs. We have already created that. Okay. And then from the previous text file, if you remember, we had the document ID as well. So let me just get that, grab that right here. Okay. So if you remember, we have, all of this. We have already created the data, and the tag was empty. Okay. The tag was empty, and this is the data, the document ID. So then in the next step, what we'll do is we will attach this particular one, the document, to their respective tags. So for this is 200 foundation yoga teacher program. So for this, what we'll do is we will actually attach it with the foundation tag. Okay. And then the next time we run this, you should see this tag filled up out here. Okay. So let's do that. So after this, what we need to do is we need to attach. So there is in the tags API, you have something called attach KB tags to the document. Okay. So let's go here. And we are here right now. Okay. So there's nothing right now here. All right. In this, what it says is that it needs a document ID. Okay. So let's get the document ID. So we will copy the first one, which is this, copy this, put it here. Okay. And the data object, which is body params. Let's open that, add string. Okay. So once we come here, you can see an array. What it requires is existing KB tag label. So you need the label. Okay. Which is this. So we'll say YTT foundation, and then we attach it right here. Okay. And that's it. So now if you can see, it is different. Let me just say try it. And we have a status of okay, which is that it was a success. Okay. Let me do it for all 4 of them, and then we'll see exactly whether it's attached or not and how it looks. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I've finished for YTT refresh. That was the last one. So I've done it for all 4 of them. Okay. So after this, what we'll do is let's go back to the document API. All right. And in the document list. So if you now see, this is the first document. Okay. So then when we actually generated this particular one, there's nothing in tags. This is the document ID, but the tag is empty. All right. And now we have attached the tag to the document. So now let's run this again. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another document. So you can see, all right. And let's see this one. And let's go to the document list, which is this one. You already have the API, and let's say try it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's copy this and then put it here. Perfect. So if you see the difference between both the documents, okay, so this is the first one, this is the second one. In this, there is no tags, and in this, you can see the tag ID now, right? It's right here. YTT Foundation, the first one. And if you go down, this is YTT Advanced and Yin and Refresh. Okay, perfect. So now it has attached the document to the particular tag. Okay. So now our API business is finished out here, and this is, so it's all connected now. So, okay, great. So now we have the document list. We've already done the tag attachment. Everything is ready. Okay. So the final thing is that out here, we need to test this as well. Okay. So let's go to the query API. Now the query API is used to actually query the knowledge base. Okay. And that's what we'll do out here. Okay. So In the query database, if you see, we have a sample request, and we need to use that in wherever you call the API. But for now, let's test this out here. Okay, and so we have a testing interface. Let's go down, and you can ask a question here and put everything out here. Okay, so let me just check real quick. Okay, so we already have our API, which basically means that the knowledge base is all connected. Okay, so what we can do is let's test this, and for the question, I'm going to ask what is the program pricing? Okay, what is the program pricing? Chunk limit is equal to 2. So essentially, what is the program pricing? We have 4 documents there. And this is a very generic question. So program pricing can mean whether you are talking about the foundation program pricing or the advanced program pricing. What are you talking about? And that is where the tag is going to help. The tag which we just created, when we say, okay, the tag is YTT Foundation, so it will get the pricing for the YTT Foundation, which is this, okay? And otherwise, if in case we say, what is the program pricing for YTT Advanced, it should actually go to, let me just see that real quick. Okay, so it should go to advanced and then get the pricing for this, which is right here. Let me just see that. Wow. Okay, which is right here. Okay, so the one is 3600 and the other one is 4500. Okay, so let's test this. So I'm going to say what is the program pricing. I'm not saying anything else. And then synthesis, yes, true basically means that, okay, you want the AI to generate the answer. Settings fine, tags, in tags, yes, this is include tag, add string, and then this is where we define the tag, input the tag, which is YTT Foundation. So now when we actually execute this query, what the system should do is it should go to this particular document, which is tagged with this tag, and then get the pricing for this, so which is supposed to be 3600. Okay, I think we don't need to include anything else, and let's say try it. And perfect, we got 200, which is okay. Let's see the output. So the output is the tuition for a 200-hour foundation yoga training is teacher training is 3500. Perfect, this is great. Okay, so it's working fine. And let's test this again now with the other tag. So I'm not going to change the question, I'm just going to change the tag now, and I'll say YTT Advanced. Okay, and let's test this, and now this should become, what is the pricing? Okay, so advanced is 4500. Okay, so now this should become 4500. Okay, and let's see this. Oh, perfect. See, so now it is giving the response as 4500. So because the tag is different, it is YTT Advanced. It's perfect. So this is working great now. Okay, so now what the next step is to actually implement all of this functionality into Voiceflow's chatbot and use the API to get to kind of query the knowledge base and get the same results. Okay, but this is working fine. We are testing the API, and the API works right now. So it is actually getting all the values from the knowledge base. All right, so let's head over to Voiceflow. Just a quick note, I hope you're finding this video helpful, and if you are, please give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Making these videos takes a lot of time and effort, so your support really helps this channel and encourages me to keep going and making more content like this for you. Also, I love automation, and on this channel, my goal is to create many more videos where I show you step by step how to use AI to automate repetitive tasks to boost your business productivity. So if you're interested in this kind of content, hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss out when I post a new video. If you'd like to work with us, you can schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me, and for that also I'll leave the link in the description. And lastly, we recently launched our free AI automation community, and it's a dedicated place to meet and network with like-minded AI enthusiasts, ask questions and learn from each other, share wins, request videos, and access my free YouTube resource and more. And that is just the beginning. So if you are eager to explore the limitless possibilities of AI automation, this is your golden ticket. I'll drop a link in the description in case you're interested in joining the AI community. Okay, let's get back to our video. Okay, so now we are back in the assistant. This is the knowledge base. So let's go to the workflow. This is where we will design our AI agent. Okay, and then you can start, edit workflow, and we are here. I don't know how this got there. So it's a blank canvas right now. So let's start putting some stuff out here. The first thing I'm going to do is I will actually put in a text. just say connect this thing. Welcome to Vikasa. How can I help you today? Okay, so let's put this, and this is there. After that, what we can do is we can actually add some buttons. So the buttons are for the 10th. So we can actually say, hey, this is for YTT Foundation. So, and then add a button. We can put in YTT Advanced, and so on and so forth. So we'll create those 4 buttons. So we have these 4 buttons right here, and then they connect to something like, so the moment the user comes in, he says, welcome to Vikasa, how can I help you today? And then of course he sees these 4 options. Now, when we are querying the knowledge base, okay, it can be only one at a time. So one document at a time, in the sense that when you're asking questions, you will want to know about the YTT Foundation or the YTT Advanced or Yin or Refresh, whatever the case is. Okay, so we will use, and so we will send this information to the API which we just created, the knowledge base, so that it returns the correct answer. All right, but so we have 4 different options here depending on what the user chooses. Okay, and then we need to store that so that we can send that to the knowledge base. So for that, basically we will create a variable. A variable is nothing but it's just a holding place which tells, once the user selects this YTT Foundation, that is what it holds, and then it is passed on to the knowledge base saying that, hey, the user wants the information for YTT Foundation using this question, or about this question, sorry. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just quickly create a variable. Let's see, when you actually connect this, it is in the actions. We'll go to something called set variable, and we won't have it out here, so let's create one. When you click on this thing, there's an option to create a variable, and I'm going to call it something like str, and I'm going to say program. You can name it anything you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, you can call it str program, you can just call it program, you can call it underscore program, or whatever you prefer. Okay, and the description of this is that it tells us what exactly is program tells us what program has the user selected. Okay, it'll all start making sense. Just give me some time. Okay, and say just create variable. So now it's created the variable. Okay, so what we'll do is enter value applies to this thing. So once this is, so let's say for example, when I run this bot, so welcome to Vikasa, how can I help you today? And then you have YTT Foundation, Advanced, YTT Yin, and Refresh. Okay, so when he selects this, we want this program, this str program, which is the variable we just created, to have the value YTT Foundation. When he selects this, that particular variable will have the value YTT Yin, and so on and so forth. Okay, and so that is the reason we have this. And so once you go here, it will go here, and it'll, of course, there's nothing connected, so it'll finish off, but this is how it is done. So again, it'll all start making sense in some time. Okay, so all 4 of them are done now. So basically when he selects this thing, this is going to get active. This the value of the str program, the variable which we have, is going to be this. Okay, and I'm going to show you how it'll all tie up. So now the next step is that we will ask the question. Okay, so let's ask the question to the user. For that, we will use a text. So we can say something like, what is your question? And this is, I mean, of course, we can always change the text, but this is just to, for example. So what is your question for program? And then we will open the bracket, and you can see str program right here, and we will use this. Okay. All right. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to say, what is your question for the program YTT Foundation or YTT Advanced, or whatever the user selects. Based on that, it will actually assign that. Okay, and let's connect this to all 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is done. After this, then what is your question for the program? And then you need to use a capture step. So where is the capture? This is basically a capture step which will actually capture the user's input, because you're asking them a question, right? So then now they need to input, and this goes into last utterance, which is whatever the user inputted. So now what we have is we have a capture step, and in this the user is going to, whatever the user enters, this is going to be captured in the last utterance. I like using variables. So similar to what we did out here, like, we used str program to capture what the user was inputting as a program choice. What we'll do is we'll create two more variables. So let's go and create two more variables. One is question asked. So we call the variable question asked, which means that whatever the user inputs in the capture step, it is in last utterance, but I prefer using questions asked basically as in creating your own variable. Okay, so we'll do that. And the next is answer. Okay, and what basically means that when we connect it to the step and the API returns an output, that will be captured in the variable. Again, it's going to make sense once I do it. So let me just create those variables right now. Just going to go back where you have variables right now. You can see all the variables are right here, and I can create a new variable. So, okay, so I'm going to create something called question asked. Okay, let's create this. You can put a description or you can let it be, it doesn't matter. And then is the next one is answer. Oh, sorry. Okay, now it's done. Let's create this as well. Okay, so we have two more variables, two new variables, and you can always add a description if you want. So I'm going to add that later on. Okay, now let's go back to our agent. Okay, so we are right here. Okay, so once the user enters a capture in the capture step, what I'll do is I will, after this action, I'll say set variable and applies to, we just created question asked. Okay, and then the value of this should be last utterance. So this is what last utterance is a system variable. So this is what it actually captures from the user when he enters that, and I'll show it to you. Okay, and it goes into this thing. Into questions asked. So let me just show you exactly what I captured. Let's put a text step here, and I'm gonna say, to be more clear, let's say str program is equal to, and then I'm gonna put an str program value, and this is just going to output it so that you know exactly what the variables values are and what is coming in. And the next is what we just created, question asked, question asked. Okay, which is equal to, and then question asked. All right, so the purpose of this particular block is that it will just input what the user has selected. Okay, so let's run this, and I'm going to show this to you so that it makes sense why we're creating or using variables. Okay, welcome to Vikasa, how can I help you? So let me, this time I'm going to use YTD advanced. Okay, so what is your question for program YTD advanced? And I can say, what are the start dates for the program? Okay, something like that. And if you see out here, the value str program is equal to YTD advanced, and the question asked, the variable value is what are the start dates for the program. I'm sorry for the mistake out here, the start mistake. Okay. So this is exactly what it is sending to the API. Okay, these are the two values basically. So it'll send this question, and the str program is YTD advanced. So now what is going to happen is that the API is going to look at this document, the advanced document, and it is going to see, how can I answer this question? What are the start dates for this program? And then it is going to get a response back. Okay, and that response we will capture in the variable which is created, which is called the answer. Okay, and I'm going to show that to you. But first, what we'll do is we will actually configure the API, and that we'll do right now. All right, so for configuring that API, what we'll do is we will go to the API step. Let's put it out here. We connect this so that it goes inside here, and okay. So this is where we will need to actually get a lot of information. I'm going to use information from here, from this particular thing. Okay. So the first thing is it's asking whether it's a get or a post response. So a get is generally to get information out. A post is that you are actually giving some input to the API. All right. So right here we are sending in the two variables right here, question asked and str program. So we'll use a post, which basically means that we are sending these two variables, and based on this, please give us the answer. Okay. And after this is your header, and so we need a URL. So for this, we will go here and copy this URL. Okay. The next is the header. So header is where you need to put in your API key. Okay. Because it needs to be authenticated. It needs to know that, okay, this is coming from this particular agent, which has got this API key. So API key is sort of an identification. All right, so we will use this. This is the API key which we were using, and so we will copy this, and of course it has to have a key value pair, so we will use authorization here. Okay, I'm just gonna type it in small cases, authorization. Okay, so this is done. Okay, and so now it is basically when it sends the request, it will send the API key along with this, so that the system knows that, oh, it's coming from this particular AI agent, and this is what I need to know, what I need to do. Sorry. The params. So params is the parameters. The parameters are these two values. Okay. So now here we'll go into query API. Okay. So basically this is. So when you query, the query API is that you've already created the documents, you've created the tags. Now, whatever query comes from the user, I'm going to use that, and I will actually generate a response in the AI and then send it back to you. Okay. So that is what exactly this query API does. Okay. And it needs a format, and the body should be in this format. Okay. So this is of course a sample request. So we will modify this according to us. And so let's go back, and I will paste it out here from our system, what we actually had generated initially. Okay. So I think now everything is all set. It's everything connected. Let's take a quick check on everything. So the API, the URL should be a post type, because we are sending in the variables. We are sending in those two variables, the question asked as well as what is this str program, and then we're getting an output back. So the API type should be post, and then after that you are doing the URL. So the URL should be from here, and you'll pick this up in the query. This is the URL. Okay. And yeah, and then the authorization in the headers, make sure that you need to put in the API key, and the second header, make sure that you put in content-type is application /JSON. This is important because without this, I've seen that the system, it has unexpected behavior. So it's always better to put this. Okay. Then we have the parameters, which are the variables. And then, of course, this is our raw JSON, and we are ready to test. One important thing I wanted to cover, I just wanted to let you guys know, is I just copied this and I'm going to show it to you. If you see the code, and this is important because the thing is that, and I spent a lot of time on this actually, because I was not able to figure this out. The quotation marks is double quote should be like this, because when you are actually writing it and typing it and you do a quote from the keyboard, it comes like this. You see the difference? Let me just actually, yeah, see, this is the double quotes from the keyboard, and this is the quote it is expecting, and it just behaves weirdly, and the answer output is not exact. And so I was testing it and I was not able to figure out exactly what's going on wrong. And then when I actually copied this, that is when I came to know. Okay, so just copy this and put it out here, and it should be all good to go. Okay, it's the same thing out here. So this is fine. Okay, and now let's test it. So we'll do a first regular test through this thing. Let's test it from here itself, and then we'll run the whole program. So the question asked is, what is the program pricing? And right now I'm using a tag YTD Foundation. Okay, so if you notice, what is the program pricing? Now, what is the program pricing is a generic question, because if you go to Vikasa, it can be, so what is the program pricing can be for the advanced yoga, or it can be for foundation yoga, or it can be for yin or refresh, anything, all for any of the four of them. Okay. So it is a generic thing, and based on the tag, the system will respond. When I say YTD Foundation, now the system knows that, okay, we need to say program pricing for, we need to see the program pricing for YTD Foundation. Now, if I do the tag as YTD Advanced, it should give the price for the advanced right here, the 300-hour advanced pricing. Okay. So now let's test this for YTD Foundation right here, and let's say generate, and now it's going to the API, and it's got the result back. We have a 200. Okay. And now if we go to the output, let's see the output. And the output, the tuition is, okay, it's right here. Okay. 3,500. And I'm going to test it again with advanced. I'm not going to change the question. And that's where the tagging actually helps. Let's say send request again, but in this case, I'm going to make this as YTT advanced. All right, and let's see, generate. Now it should give you the pricing for YTT advanced, which is 4,500. Yeah, so this is advanced, which is 4,500, and that should be your answer. So if you go down and we see the output is the pricing for a 300 advanced perfect is 4,500. Okay, so that is the beauty of tagging. So when you actually tell the system that, okay, just use this particular document or this particular page to answer the question, it actually just uses that page information. Okay, so all right, so now we have done this raw. Let's use the system to actually generate the response. So what we'll do is let's run this from here and run test. Okay, so welcome to Vikasa. How can I help you today? And I'm going to say YTT Foundation. What is the question for pricing? So I'll say pricing. That's it, nothing else. And let's see what it comes up with. Excellent. So the tuition for 200-hour foundation yoga class is 3,500. Okay. So again, let's run this one more time. And now I'm going to say advanced. What is the question? Again, I'll say pricing. That's it. The pricing for 300-hour advanced yoga is 4,500. Perfect. Okay, so as you saw, this is working perfectly now, and we got the tags working. And this is how you actually use the tags with the documents, so that you can actually, your knowledge base is highly accurate. And yeah, so hopefully you found this video helpful. And that's it. Now you've created a highly accurate knowledge base in Voiceflow using Tags API. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. Also, we are a full service AI agency, so if you need help with building an AI agent or some other AI project for your business, do check out my AI automation agency, FlipBytes. You can also schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me. I'll drop all the links in the description. Finally, here's another awesome step-by-step video on how to create a lead generation AI chatbot from scratch. Or you can watch another video that I'm sure you'll find very useful. I can't wait to see you in future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.